Call the meeting to order. Gonna lead the prayer. You lead the pledge.
Or me, pledge.
Let's pray. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for all your blessings. We thank you for everything that you do for us. Lord, we are very thankful for our community, being able to come out of the storm better than other communities. We just pray for those that are struggling still. We pray for those that are still without power. We pray, Lord, that the assistance will get there to get the power turned back on, and then afterwards that they will get the help they need to get their life back in order, to get everything back going again, and just to get over this disaster. Lord, as we're about to do the business for the county, we pray that we will do what is in the best interest of our county. We pray that you will be with us all and just guide our thoughts, guide what we do, and we thank you for all the blessings that you put upon us. In Jesus Christ's name we pray, amen.
Flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Terry's still sick. You want to text?
What?
Now they tell you that.
You say?
Return to her.
This thing's turning the heat on. You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Can you move a chair for you?
You see?
Somebody else is coming in too. Good, you.
I won't be here long.
Really?
Thursday.
You messing with the thermostat over there.
Make a motion to approve the minutes. Ready for approval of that? Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ag management, if you want to sign, speak, people for the public, speak, sign here, sign in.
You ready for me, Terry? Okay, almost got the archway for Stratton Bone on there. Last meeting we had voted to, well, before I get started, I just want to say I apologize for it being so long between meetings. That's on me. I've had a lot going on personally, but I do apologize for that. But tonight's about getting the train back on the tracks and headed back in the right direction. But that's kind of what I've had going on. But to start with, we had voted last meeting to send the archway back out to bid, and there was sort of some issues as far as the way that was done. So Alice, whenever I talked to LaBronya about getting that sent out to bid, again, I wanted her to be here where we could get that done if that's what we still want to do. In the meantime, I put together there that's in your packet. That's not just another thought there, but that's a guy that does the stone work out of Crossville, and that's kind of the price breakdown, and that was just you know, a rough sketch, you know, just of something potentially that we could look to if the, you know, the other way is not what we, you know, where we want to go. But I'll turn that part over to Ms. LeBron.
Okay, so I can't just send out a bid and have vendors reply back to me in that bid with changes without it being in the actual bid packet. That causes a lot of issues on my side because I'm not comparing apples to apples at that point. I'm comparing apples to oranges or grapes based on what they turn in. And then you're running the risk of the integrity of the bid itself. You could get poor quality of work based on what they turn in, or it could be highball. You know, somebody could turn in something that's way up that shouldn't be. So I need to have it more narrowed down to exactly what we're looking to do to change so we can get every bid out there for you.
Do we have an engineer or somebody that would donate their time for this project that could write something up, or?
Well, I mean,
Manis did the engineering, so he did the drawings itself, but I think it came in higher than what it was, what we have allotted for it. And we're looking for changes to get that down. I can't just send it out there and have the potential vendors reply back to me saying, well, this is how much I have, work with me. I need to know exactly what I'm sending out there to everybody.
Did Manis volunteer? Did we pay him, or I don't remember?
it was voluntary. But I think basically what she's saying is we have to send it back out to bid the way it was, or whatever changes we
One
want
of
to make.
Manis will sit there and go back and kind of change it a little bit to I understand what she's saying, that we need to have exactly what we're requesting. So whenever people bid it, they're bidding exactly what we want versus just throwing it out there, because I could throw a bid and put substandard stuff up there, and then that's what you're gonna get.
So we could recommend doing a construction manager. But again, we would either have to find somebody that would volunteer that work, or we're gonna end up paying to get them out there to get the materials more, I guess, in line with the monthly allotted amount of money that we have out there to offer to pay for the sign itself. But that would be totally up to you guys.
Can you reach back out to Manis and just ask him, can we scale it back just a little bit or change something?
We've done that, and I mean, I don't really think that that's, you know, that part is a,
Since I wasn't here at the last meeting, I just, was it the stone one? Is that what you were, what you
Yes.
were looking at?
yes.
LeBron, are you saying that we can't use this right here? Or can we
No, that's something totally different.
Yeah.
We're talking about two different
I
things.
think Lee asked you, was you talking about the stone? Is that
Yeah,
not
so
what you just
that's sort of what you're looking at bidding out?
No, the archway is what we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
You know, the original archway.
Oh,
What did it
okay.
come in at?
I mean, it was, you know, the lowest bid was 79,000, you know, and then it was, you know, in the mid-90s from there. But, you know, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, LeBron, but basically we either need to rebid it the way it was originally, is what, without the language in there as far as them putting in alternative
Right.
items to bid. Or if somebody has a better plan, but that's, I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at there.
I will add that we did bring Mattis in and talk to him with Josh, and just had a conversation about, is there a way to make it any better? I actually called all 4 bidders and asked them, was there a way to cut it down and make it look any better? And they said really not. And so I think the goal is, as LeBron just said, we really can't put it out to bid and say, hey, would y'all shave it down? So just put it back out to bid again. They know it came in too high, and I think we'll have better bids the next time around.
I just need a motion to put it back out to bid again, as is. I make that motion.
Second.
Discussion.
Second.
I'll go on and make a statement, y'all all probably got the same thoughts. The man we're trying to honor, from what I know about him, it will kill his soul for us to spend $70-something thousand on a sign. he would take a switch and rip every one of us. So maybe considering something like this stone that Josh has put here might be a better idea. I don't know.
I mean, I'm game for whatever y'all decide you wanna do. I just
When
wanna
we started down
do
this route, we
something.
didn't think we were gonna spend anything like going on $80,000.
I mean,
And
okay.
And I've only looked at it for about 2 minutes, but I kinda like the looks of the rock myself.
I like it. I like this right here.
You know, and I'm not, you know, I mean, that was something, you know, this guy, I found him, and that's, you know, I got him to put together something real quick like, you know, I mean, I'm not, you know, that was, I sent him a picture of the archway and told him, you know, put me together a mock sign, sent him a picture there in front of the flagpole, not saying that's where it should go or, you know, whatever, just kind of giving a, you know, I know we've been, you know, dragging this out for a while and just trying to get, you know, come up with something to get us.
I hate to be the one to say it, but the price tag has just really got out of hand with what we proposed originally, I feel like. And, one of these options, with some landscaping added to it or something, whatever you think, might be a lot more. I really like that drawing and stuff.
I like that too. I think Stratton would like that very well. So Bonnie now,
I just feel like in the long run, we might do more harm than honor if he finds the price tag out for that.
Josh, would this have to be put out for bid?
Which one are we leaning towards?
We're talking about the stone
Stone
that
here.
says Stratton Bone.
But it,
Depends on how much.
But
you
but
spend.
yeah,
that's
I
what-
didn't know which one we're going
Yeah.
towards. Because anything 10,000, we wouldn't have to bid.
Okay,
But we would have to have 3 quotes for anything between 10 and 25,000. Anything above that, we'd have to actually take out to bid.
okay. Could we use these specs that this man has provided here for this particular stone as something to go by for when you put it out to bid?
Most definitely.
Okay.
Which one are you?
I think she's talking about the size of the stone.
Size.
I'm talking about
Yeah.
the size of the stone, where he's got here 8 foot wide, 5 foot tall, 5,000 pounds. 12 by 12, 12 by 8, 12,000 pounds, 16, 24,000 pounds. Which one is this one we're looking at?
Well, I called him to get some, you know, clarification on that. You know, obviously it's not, you know, not totally to scale, but I mean, it's obviously bigger than the second one there, which would be the 12 by 8. But I think that would be the closest, you know, the closest one to that. But I think it would be, you know, from that picture, a touch, you know, at a scale for that.
So if it goes up to 45, then we have to figure it out. So,
I guess one more question, Josh, is that where you would consider wanting to put it right in front
I
of
mean,
the building?
I'm open for suggestions on that. I mean, that's, you know, like I said, I wanted, you know, I knew that spot would at least get an idea of, you know, size, you know, what it
Well, I
would.
mean, to me, that's a pretty good location, like I say, do some landscaping with it or whatever, along, and you make something really nice.
I mean, I think it looks nice. I mean, that's, you know, I wouldn't.
Uh,
Are there any drain lines or water lines right there? But that would get in the way of it.
Right there, we should be good. We have to have, when there is some electric there around the light poles, you know, that would have to be, but other than that, we should be okay right there.
So I'm just gonna assume, even if we went with the 22,000, by the time we added landscaping in there, unless that was donated, we're looking, if we have to pay for that, that would be included in the project, which would then make me have to bid it out.
I wonder if the
Because
master
we're
gardeners would sit there and do that.
Why couldn't we just do the rock, you know, which that includes the footer and everything, and then we, you know,
You may be
use,
able to see the.
Your staff or something.
that's right, you know,
And then maybe able to get them to help some with it.
right.
we.
That would be what I was here for.
Lucas is nodding his head that the master gardener.
That's why I'm on this committee, right?
There you go, Lucas.
Labor.
I withdraw my motion. Can we make a motion on the other?
What kind of stone is it, Josh? It doesn't, is it like a headstone, a monument out here?
You know, that, I don't know what material that is, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's what it looks, you know.
Revolution stone.
I would say, Tommy, with this gentleman being out of Crossville, it's gonna be some kind of
Gravel.
gravel.
I mean, I guess that would be part of what, knowing what we're actually buying, we'd need to know that, wouldn't we?
Can you get us a little bit more information about that, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, what all do we wanna know?
First, what kind of stone is it? What kind of life expectancy we're looking at as far as, is it gonna weather really fast, or how long will it stay that size, I guess?
Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Is it gonna freeze and crumble next time we get an ice storm, or come kind of shellacked or protected, or what?
I can find out those questions.
Some of the ladies in the room would probably know more about this than I would, but you don't want to get anything that's gonna be so big that it overpowers everything. You know, you want it big enough where everybody can see it, but
I think the first two on the list. I think the first two, either the first one or the second one.
12'8" or the 8'5". I think the 12'8" would be a good one.
I think that would be plenty big enough. That'd be a big old rock.
That's a lot
Big
bigger,
rock.
lot bigger than.
You want a motion to do the research and come back with, you gotta have to have 3 quotes with it also, right? We'll get time between now and the next meeting.
Okay.
Labor for install.
Then that's, you know, that's them doing the footer and setting the stone.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what this is. Yeah.
Okay, the next thing that I have that you should have in your packet is a copy of the plans for the bathroom and on the Connected Community Facility grant building there. And that's got, you know, which we already, you know, voted to approve the grant and the location. I just need a motion to approve the plans there, which is based like just what we talked about off the FFA building is, you know, what the footprint was used for there.
So moved.
Second.
First, second. All in favor?
Then number 3 on the list here, you should have a copy of a plat here. Promotions is in the process of buying a little over 5 acres there. That would put us out on Bluebird Road. There, 50-foot strip there that comes back. And on that, we just need a motion to accept that, or they want to close with that in the county's name. So we need a motion to approve that, where we can close it that way.
But the deed will be in the county's name.
Yes, sir.
Make a
So
motion.
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Then the next one, as far as the next aerial that you have there is for the property that is down there in between the Purity Building and Tennessee Boulevard there, which backs up to the county convenience center as well, if you look on there. But that property, they have had an offer on that property, and the representative for the property owner had reached out to see if there was any interest for, as far as us potentially purchasing that property. The price tag on that would be 1.25 million, is what that would be. It's 3 acres. It backs up there to where the ball field, where that area is there. And, but that's, there's $2.7 million in our fund balance. But that property, if the question is, hey, what's your plan for that, Josh? I don't have an immediate plan, but, I do think, if we were sitting in these seats, 10, 15 years from now, that, at some point in time, that would be, a good piece of property to have, there. But, I'll open that up for questions or debate.
Josh, is that a realistic number appraisal wise or anything?
I mean, according to the representative, it is. I mean, he said that there was a tract that closed. They're close to it, that he would expect it, the appraisal value to come in somewhere around $1.5 million is what he said. The old Daniels Market down there, that's 1.4 acres, that blew down there, that's been up for a while. That's 1.4 acres, and they, of course, it's, on the market, there's not any bids on that, but that price tag on that is 1.5. But I mean, that's it's a lot of money, but that's the kind of the old farmer's mentality, whenever we all know what that is.
Mayor, at one time there were talks of a motel type thing locating on that property. Is that still a possibility? If we owned it, that we could maybe work a lease with a hotel or something?
So we've had several conversations with them. Nobody has bit yet on doing that. They continue to push it down the road, but we've had conversations and it could go there. We looked at right there beside Lucas's building on this side, built something like what's out by the Outback, but it would take up some parking and we would share some parking, but with this, that would definitely help in that area.
I mean, that's one of those, even if you ended up in Lucas's building or something getting rebuilt or whatever on this track to give you more for a hotel or whatever at the property could work.
Josh, does that piece of property, that's the Frank Bryant property, does it back right up to the ag grounds?
Yes. And that,
So-
like on the,
It's the old ball
Yeah.
field.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, right there, and then this here, that's the, the,
Mayor,
right there.
is the convenience center, is it moving?
Ball field out?
So we've had conversations about.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying, that
Time,
would
that
open it up.
if all this kind of played out, we can work with Cindy and TDEC
Yeah.
and see about moving
Yeah, I
that
mean,
back.
lots of,
Well, that would connect everything except for the Purity property together there.
Yeah, and we do have first right of refusal. We tried to get on first Purity property.
Purity.
Yeah.
Does, Wisconsin Promotions want to buy any more property?
Well, at the present time, we've kind of run out of money by buying this that connects to Bluebird.
Doesn't hurt.
That's going,
Didn't hurt to ask.
Sure. We think that property that we've got this contract on to Bluebird would be a huge asset to the
Oh,
Ag
absolutely.
Center because it touches a road that's not associated with fair traffic. And during August, when it's real hot and we release the livestock shows, that will give an opportunity for those trailers to not stop.
Totally understand.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But, no, if we had the money, we'd be happy to spend it, to add property. We've tried to do that as much as we can, but we've kind of overloaded for this year.
So what kind of motion do we need as far as moving forward as long as the appraisal comes in, right? Because I think it's a win-win, especially if it comes in under what's appraised for. We got the money in fund balance. And it also may give us some negotiation with the hotel later on if we already have 3 acres right there. And then the convenience center is, how many acres is that? About 1.5 or 1? How many acres is the convenience center?
You want to make that formal motion?
How much of a time crunch are we on, Josh?
I
We talked about
called,
this for, what, 6 minutes? I
Yeah.
spent a lot longer than that the last time I bought a used pickup truck.
that's fair. I called and talked to, and asked that question this afternoon, and the answer I got back was, I'm not sure. So, I mean, that, you know, I mean, I'm more than happy, you know,
And you need to get an appraisal for it first to make sure that it's.
yeah. I mean, that, you know, that part of it, I mean, you know, all of that would be, you know, in the,
Right.
yeah.
So what the motion we would need is if you to give me permission to enter into a contract, to get a contract there based on all the contingencies here that you guys would approve. It would still be based on coming back to you. They got an offer of 1.3 million. And you say, well, why did they give us 1.25? And the conversation I had with them is that if whatever it appraised for, we didn't have to appraise for more than the 1.25, but if it appraised for 1.5, that the county could give them a letter of credit for their taxes for the 250,000 that they didn't get. So that's why it's convenient for them to get it from us and not from that one that gets 1.3. They actually get more money out of it in that way. So we could enter into a contract, and we have the contract with us, that just to get a contract on it, still got to go through your approval here. This money doesn't have to go to the county commission, but it has to meet the appraisal and some other stuff that's in this contract would have to be met, excuse me, before it would actually go. But it would actually get you a chance to get on the books with them if you want to do that. They called a week and a half ago or a week ago, Josh, about this, and we said, hey, look, we can't make any conversations with you until we come to the ACT committee and get permission to enter into a contract. So unless you give me that permission, I can't do that.
Would a motion just to pay for an appraisal on it suffice for the time being?
They'll take care of the appraisal on their own.
You need to make sure who appraises it represents the county. I mean,
Sure.
if I'm selling you something and you let me appraise it, I'm gonna take care of Tommy.
Yeah. I mean, I think the company, at least the ones that we've dealt with before, they put their name on the line on it too.
Well, I mean, we need somebody representing the county over $1 million purchase, not somebody that's volunteering something for us.
Sure.
But with a motion to pay, or whatever, how we get the appraisal. I mean, till the appraisal comes in, we couldn't even agree to it, really.
Yeah. So unless we get a contract on it, any money you spend on it is null and void, because they can go sell it to anybody else they want to. So unless you get a contract on it and get it going, and that's what we do normally when we get property, is we sign a contract.
Well, that's what I'm getting
Get them
at.
under contract.
Could this contract be contingent on the appraisal? And then, once it comes in, we can have a real conversation? Because if that appraisal comes in quite a bit less than what they're asking,
It's off.
we don't even need to have this discussion any further.
So the contract that we have with them will have all those contingencies in there, the appraisal being another one, your approval being another one. You may just tell me no.
Well, I
Come back.
understand, but
Yeah.
if it doesn't appraise, we can't buy it. It's
No
that
question.
simple.
That's our rules,
You
yeah.
know, Comptroller won't buy us to buy it, as far as that goes.
So what do you need? You need a motion from this committee for you to move forward with this, and anything that you do comes back to the committee, right?
Got to come back to committee. I mean, if you're willing to spend the 1.25, I think you need to be willing to do that
Well,
first.
that's what I'm
Because if it
saying.
comes-
I don't
if it
know that
comes-
you-
If it comes back to you, then that's what we got, because we'll have.
Well, like I
some
said, if it
person
comes
there.
back at 1.5 or whatever, if it comes back above that, it sounds like a win-win. If it comes back less than that, like Tommy said, you don't need to buy it.
And I wouldn't want anything in the contract specifying a price until we see it appraised.
Don't need that.
And if they're in that big a hurry and they've got a real offer, you know, we've had years to try to buy it. We've been making it fine without it. I mean, this is a huge purchase, and it's gonna take right at half of our fund balance we've been working for years to build. And our funds are not gonna grow at the Ag Center like they have been growing, because we took from them last year. And, I mean, we just need, this is a huge purchase, and we need to proceed carefully. We don't want to obligate ourselves in any way to we're certain we won't purchase it, is all I'm trying to say.
So I can't, the contract that I've got right here has a price of 1.2 million. They won't let me sign a contract with no price on it. It also has the earnest money of $500. So if you're, you know, if you don't want to do it, it doesn't matter to me. I'm just here to.
Well, I don't think it's a matter of not wanting to do it. I don't think there's a person in the room that wouldn't say it would be a great day to purchase it. We've all talked about it in the past, but like I said, the purchase price and what we're getting for it, it's a little different ball game than what we've been doing, purchasing adjoining property. It's significant.
Sure.
Over $400,000 a day.
That's less than, this is less than what Frank's been asking for in the past.
It was 2 million.
It's pretty close.
Can you
it's
do
less.
something in the contract where, like I said, I guess depending if the appraisal is above that,
So
more than the 1.2?
So the contract has in it that it has to come back to this committee for approval, which I think that's
Right.
sound enough right there. If you don't want it when it comes back, that's fine.
We're
But
just out
the appraisal
$500.
has, sir?
We just be out $500?
No, you won't be out nothing. The contract is over.
I thought you said earnest
You said
money.
$500 earnest money?
Earnest money, but if the contingencies of the contract says, no, we don't have to do it, if it's one of them, then you're out of that, yeah.
I think
Yeah, if everything on the contract turned out to be okay, and then you decided not to, yeah, then I gotta give them $500. But before that, if anything in this contract is, if you say no, or if it doesn't come appraisal, or there's a few other things in here, then it's just over. But I mean, it does lock the property down on while we do the due diligence to figure out, is this a good purchase or not?
I'd like to make a motion to go ahead, because if we can say no later on, just to get the ball going, and we can always say no, or if it comes back and it's not good.
I second that motion.
Motion by William, second by Larry, all in favor?
Aye.
And the last thing, at last meeting, Larry brought up about the potential for new Ag Center office. You know, and that was not on the agenda last time, so we had in the minutes to put that on the agenda for this time. So it's on the agenda. And, you know, obviously, you know, at some point in time, there is going to have to be a new Ag Center office. I mean, Donna's got about 4 years to retire, in which, you know, me and her are both pretty old school and don't require much, but, you know, we're at least gonna have to get that on the, you know, on the radar screen. And I know there's been, you know, the talk of the potential, you know, building from the state that, you know, is still in the governor's budget, but, you know, as far as that goes, I mean, you know, that's been in the governor's budget for quite a few years at this point, at this, you know, point in the ballgame. So, I mean, I do, you know, I mean, that's, but we put it on there, so you're the one that wanted it on there, Larry, and we'll.
Well, Josh, Mr. Chairman, I think that this is something that's been needed for a long time, and we just never have got around to doing it. And I certainly think that we need to, if nothing else, Josh, is to put a plan in place to give you and the mayor and whoever else has to be involved in it to draw up some plans of where you're at now and do away with that break room area and do away with that old bathroom and build a nice office building that will accommodate the break room and have a bathroom facility that could be used during the fair or any other events at their arena down there. And I think there's probably enough space in there to do that. I know that if it comes to fruition, then you'll have to rent you a trailer or something other to operate out of till you got built. But I would like to see this committee go ahead and give you the authority to get some plans drawn up, get somebody to look at it, see if we can fit it on that space that's right in there, and go from there. Because it needed, and all of you all have been in that office several times, and you know how they're operating and what they're having to deal with out there. And it's remarkable that they're able to do what they're doing. And so I guess, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we give Josh and the mayor and LaBranya the authority to go ahead and develop a plan or hire somebody to, I know we'll have to get an architect involved. I think that's the rules now in the mayor, you can't build anything if you have an architect. LaBranya, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, we'll have to get an architect involved with it and see what kind of plan they come up with and get this ball rolling. Maybe we can have it built before Donna retires. 4 years from now.
She ain't
You don't think so?
not for another 9, that's when I can go. So she can't leave until I leave.
Larry put it in the motion that be planned out. So, go ahead and do that.
We need a second to that motion, I
Yeah.
think.
Anybody want to second it?
Second.
Second.
Discussion. Y'all used to have an office over where the fair board's at now? That used to belong to the Ag Center, or that was been there?
Yeah.
Is there a way to add on to there, or, which I hate, which I know we gotta get you somewhere different. I hate, since we're talking about buying this other land, for $1.25 million to start this till we know what we're doing with the land.
That's about it, yeah.
And you do definitely need somewhere different. But I hate to throw this out there when we are preparing to possibly purchase the land, but it definitely needs to be looked at. And I don't know, is there anywhere to add on with the fair board or the original office, or?
I don't think probably is. I mean, you can add on anywhere you want to, I guess, William, but I mean, the way that thing's sitting in there and right up to the back door of the dock, and that building over there, I think you're looking at a sewer line and everything that's right there behind the fair office. Helen, is that not correct?
That is correct. Now, when we talked about it, and that's something that we have been wanting to do, is build on to that office, because we don't have enough room, William. If you come in there, we need to build on. There is a gas line right there that would have to be moved, and the sewer line that comes from the Made in Tennessee building comes across the road there, just on the west side of the Ag Venture Barn. Comes across the road and then goes down that little side road beside our office. That's where that sewer line goes. So, and the way the building was built on the back, we have been told that it would be hard to build on, and Clyde could talk to this, he and Benny could talk to this more than I can, because of the way it was built on. You could build onto the front of it easier than the back, because you'd have a step down there. But yeah, the sewer and the gas line would have to.
So the consensus is, let's wait to see what we do with the land.
And I guess, what about doing this, Josh? Because you can still get you an architect and start on your conceptual drawing, size, rooms, your layout, get all that. Get a conceptual drawing of your layout, and then if you know it's a 10 by 10, 100 by 100, whatever it is, then whether it sits by itself or it attaches to another building, then when you start your actual construction drawings, you can come back and put it, tie it into what building you want, but you can at least start getting a layout and an idea of what of what you want. I mean, get that part of it, because that's gonna take you a little bit of time, just, you know, in my mind, getting that part of it done, then you can always figure out, okay, where, are we gonna attach it to another building or be a standalone right back in the same spot?
Oh, Terry might could elaborate on this more than anybody else, but in the proposal for the state budget, it includes talk about offices for the Ag Center. And we'll know next month whether that's gonna make the governor's budget or not.
We should.
And so if we could wait that long to know if that's even, it's a long shot, I know, but till we know whether that makes the budget good.
They've been really good to us so far, so they,
Well, it's only a month. I thought, I was thinking.
But that might be, we're gonna have to come back in the next month or so about this appraisal. Then at that time, we should know about the governor's budget or not, whether it made it or not. And then we can proceed from there.
and I do want to say that I know y'all need in a better location, but I'd just like to get more answers, especially if there's a possibility with that, and to get back on the land, and
I'm good.
because we got to address it sometime.
Fair enough.
I mean, I agree, we need to build them an office some way, somehow, there's no doubt about that, but.
I mean, like I said, me and Donna are both old school. I mean, we're not, you know, she don't complain and I don't complain.
Well, just when
We're,
people
you know, and
come in-
I like her, you know, if I had to work next to somebody I didn't like.
But it is a representative of our county when somebody comes in to rent it.
Yes.
Exactly.
And we want to address that, but just with this extra 1.25 million, plus if there's a possibility with the state coming in,
And they are supposedly having plans drawn of some type of building, ain't you, Terry?
Well, and they did mention that if we were able to expand this other property to that area, could help with entrance way and exit way and that type of thing, and parking and all that. You know, with people coming to the Ag Center to rent property and all that type of stuff, you know, they have to get in the middle of the fairgrounds to, and it may wind up that way in the future, but it would be good if Josh's office had more room. And a meeting room even, you know, he has times that he needs to sit down and meet with someone, he needs a meeting room.
And I just have a couple of other little things, just some updates on as far as the parking lot back there on Peyton Road, that construction back there, of course, with the decent weather we had for the early part of January, they were able to get a lot done. And I just wanted to say, you know, the Christmas lights used the new roads back there, and at least to my knowledge, I didn't have any complaints from the, you know, as far as traffic backing up.
I'll just say, we need to do something with that motion before we move on to this. 'Cause we got a motion and a second, and then we had discussion, and
Yeah, we need to do something on it.
Larry, you gonna withdraw your motion until next meeting?
Yeah, it's fine with me. I mean, you know, we've been talking about it for 6 months. What's another month in that?
it's withdrawn.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but I just wanted to say that's been a, you know, been a really good thing back there. The detention pond deal, you know, that's still a work in progress. But you know, that is a giant rock on the backside of the Tennessee building that they've been hammering on. And, well, Lee, you went back here that day and saw it. But I just wanted to give an update on those. But other than that, that would conclude my report, unless if anybody's got any questions.
I do have a question. How much property now, with the addition that was purchased in the back, does the fairgrounds own?
I would have to get back with you on that, Glover.
And any update on the Peyton Road expansion? It's supposed to be expanded in Peyton Road?
That I do not have.
That's in your court, that's in the city's court right now. Lee Clark can give you all the information.
I'll have to get an update on that, I don't know where we're at, I know.
But I know Kristen's working on it. You'll talk to them.
Mr.
I'd like
Wilson?
to add one thing, I want to go back to what Mr. Tommy said, and here's what I'll do, just making sure we're all good. I'll make sure, number one, before I sign a contract, that Mike looks over, and puts everything in there that needs to be in there in the best interest of the county to make sure we're good. I'll make sure too that the appraisal comes back, is listed, it comes back above the purchase price, and that we pick out the appraiser. I can do that, whether we pay for it or they pay for it. Make sure it's got a title search, warranty deed, and title insurance on that. We'll take care of that. I think Tommy's gonna hit me up on that.
We learned that about the church,
I know.
when you argued.
I know. So, and I'll also send this contract out to all of y'all. So you look at it, if you see anything, I mean, I ain't gonna leave it out there for 3 or 4 days, but I'll send the contract to you before I sign it. And you look over, if you see anything that I have forgotten or needs to be adjusted, let me know and we'll go from there, okay? And we won't get into something that we don't need to. But the final call will be, if it's not approved by y'all, we don't pay earnest money and the contract is null and void. But we'll get that in there, okay?
Motion to accept the report.
How did the lights do?
They were off this year. I mean, you know, they still had a good year, but it was, they were off.
Motion to accept this report.
Second.
All in favor? Al?
You have a copy of the report that I submitted to county commission for December. In front of you, what you have on the first page is, it covers the whole year. I'm sorry?
I don't have a copy of that.
I'm sorry, I thought I was giving you one.
Not bad. He can have mine if it's this. He can have mine.
Okay.
You killed me on the small right, the small pipe.
What's that?
You killed me on this small print.
I'm sorry. Well, I'll have to, what I'm gonna have to do is change it into 2 pages at this point because I got 5 years across there, so I'm gonna have to split it up. So that will help on that one. So what this is it shows you year over year over year. And you can see some trends when it comes to expenses. And expenses are really what killed us. I'm working on a comprehensive report right now to identify building maintenance cost and how that's trended year over year, just so we can kind of see what that is, and if there's a jump, we can, Zendel's got immaculate records to go back and go, what did we spend on that month? So we can, I just want to kind of know what to anticipate so that I can share that with you, and like I said, he's got amazing records, so it's very easy to go back and do. But it is the reason that we had a negative for the end of the year. I'm really surprised, but the expenses kept staying high. And we were still making money, but the expenses kept going up. So our preferred provider program performed well, and I'm really excited about that because we just finished up open enrollment. We have new people on the list. And I'm very excited to say we even got a Mexican place on the list now. People have been asking for it, and we finally have it, so I'm excited about that. And then traffic for the expo has pretty much been very much the same. So not seeing a huge uptick in that or a huge decline in that. One thing I can say is that we brought in, I was very excited about Pick Tennessee. It's coming in. That was an amazing event to have, and we have locked them in for 3 more years. And now they're wanting to add an additional day on top of that. So as I predicted several times throughout last year, I'm seeing a trend. I'm seeing that some older events are eventually going to kind of fade off into the sunset. And it's going to open up pockets to bring in events, because last year I spent most of my time saying, no, I don't have anything for 2026. So I'm excited. We've got lots of inquiries that we can actually follow up on and try to get those locked in. If you have questions on it, I'm happy to answer them. I gave you the breakdown for the month of December, missing a couple numbers that are probably not more than a couple $100. On the next 2 pages, you can see what the expenses are in particular. Do you have anything to comment on the expenses at all for December? I mean, it was pretty, anything significant?
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay. Then I've got an overall traffic report for you for the entire year. And a list of upcoming events, which changed about 3 times as soon as I printed this. So it's not 100% accurate, it's as accurate it was at the time of printing. Any questions on the financials for the expo?
I do have a question about, what's the biggest increase as far, is it electric or water or?
Repairs, HVAC system, coming up on 10 years old, so we're replacing parts that are wearing out. Some heat exchangers. I had a coil in one of those 75-ton units that went down. Numerous light fixtures. And these are all LED units, and they've got the lighting strip themselves are pretty good, but the drivers are going out. And a lot of these things are $50 to $100 a piece. It's just like when you build a new house and put all new light bulbs in, they all start going out at the same time. So we're in the process. I'm buying 50 of these drivers at a time because the large main exhibit hall has got 180 fixtures, and each one of them has 2 drivers each. So we're spending quite a bit on repairing, pardon me, the lighting. I've got to get some outdoor fixtures for the uplighting, $75 a piece for those. There's like 16 of those. But it's really the HVAC that we're doing a lot of repairs.
Do you want to give an update on the sound and AV?
It's not on the agenda.
It's part of my report. Is that permitted?
Oh, it wouldn't be.
It's technically old business.
The LED screens are up in the main exhibit hall, and the sound system is in place. It was actually used for the first time for the Pick Tennessee event, and you need to come look at it. It's magnificent. Yes, sir.
It's amazing.
Are you smart enough to run it?
I have the application on my phone.
That was the main thing you asked for, is something that y'all could operate across the board.
Yes, we've had numerous, Mary's got it on her phone. She's turned it on, and
It's so simple.
there's still a training to be had.
Well, I understand, but still.
And I just sent him available dates today for the month of February that he can get into South Hall and start doing the speaker and projector upgrades over there.
But you're gonna be able to screw your people on it and do what it is.
And
It won't be like before.
no, very good support so far, you know, and good responses. These people will give them a call and say, hey, call me anytime if you run into a
Well,
bump.
don't hesitate to call them, because we
Oh, I
paid for it. Extra.
So how far are you from being completely finished with it?
Larry, with having events over there and working around events, if they can hit it and stay with it, they could probably knock South Hall out in a month.
It's not on the agenda, is it?
And we had minimal downtime for the main exhibit hall, but that was a
Yeah. So it's, you know, the screens are gonna stay up there. We're just gonna swap out the projectors with some laser projectors. And the speaker retrofit is the big thing. They gotta get up and above that drum ceiling. And they gotta run new wire, because the wire that's in there now is too small.
And did we have additional expenses on top of what the quote was for systems integrations?
Not to pay to them, no. I did have to spend, I had to spend some money to run some electrical connections to those LED screens but we were able to do that out of our budget, yeah. And I had to relocate some fire alarm strobe lights to get the screen to fit on the wall that it was gonna be behind the screen.
Okay.
But they are pretty amazing.
Anxious to see it.
Be good screens to watch the Super Bowl on, I'm just saying.
Sell tickets.
And sell tickets, that's right, that's right.
Did all the report or?
No, that's not on my report. Does anybody have any questions on the financials that I presented or what we've done as far as the sound and AV? No? Okay.
So most of the expenses from 25 has been HVAC.
A lot of it has, Terry. HVAC and lighting repairs.
We've shown profit for the last 4 years prior to it and a loss.
Yeah.
Substantial loss.
I was really,
Well, another big thing that went in was the salary upgrades.
what, upgrade?
Salary upgrades.
Oh, yeah. Because that comes out.
That's part of the budget.
That's a good segue for the next item that's on ours. So Samantha is the administrative assistant, and she came in with the basic administrative assistant role as she learned the business. She's now been there for a year and 3 or 4 months. She has performed incredibly well, and we have added to her job description considerably, giving her increased responsibility and more things that she needs to accomplish on a daily basis other than just answering the phone and welcoming guests. So I have, the sheet that I handed out is what it would take to take her from, hold on, I look at my notes. Take her from, currently she's at a grade 5 administrative assistant. And it would take her, we redid her job description to reflect the actual work that she's doing, and it would take her to a grade 8 as an expo office manager, and that would increase her salary from her hourly rate from $21.19 to $26.82, and the budget amendment request form that you see, that reflects what it would take to get through the end of the budget to make that happen. So that's what I'm bringing before you for a vote, so that we can basically pay her for the job she's actually doing, because she has performed so well. So we were able to give her those additional responsibilities.
Gail, report.
What's that?
I said, thank you for your report.
Well, I do have one other question.
Okay.
So I think, do we have to take a vote on this, her change of job description? Okay. Before I
Go ahead.
go ahead with the vote? Okay.
Go ahead. We'll ask for that, but
Oh, for the other thing I had? Okay. So the expo will turn 10 in November, and I was trying to work on something that would be different so that we could celebrate the expo and really showcase the full scope of what the expo offers. And have been working on building an infrastructure to host a women's event. And my goal was to include our so you're going to be the first to know this out of Leadership Middle Tennessee, but to include our region, since being a part of Leadership Middle Tennessee this year, it was a great opportunity to kind of get to go visit some of these different counties, and I could see where there's a synergy that we might be able to pull and collaborate and work together. I've got a solid infrastructure for what we were planning on having if we just produced it, but it became apparent that we're going to need more financial resources, so doing it something regional would work really, really well. Also give us a chance to showcase to our region what we offer. So there's a win-win in that. And then on top of that, I wanted to use, I wanted to have a committee to help pull something, help put that together. And then I would like to get permission to use a part of my budget, my marketing budget, to supplement producing this show. And because in particular, it is the guest speaker. The guest speaker is the anchor, that's what will bring people in. So that's the concept that I have, that I've been working on, but I don't want this to be something that I'm just working on. I want us to have a committee, and if there's anything else that we want to do to showcase, or if we want to pivot and do something different, we can do that too. But I want the voices of the committee involved in the process.
To finish out hers, line,
Budget amendment,
what?
budget amendment.
Yeah. Need to do the budget amendment.
I got a question on the, now this is an administrative assistant.
She started out as an administrative assistant, which was very basic, answer the phone, greet the guests, make copies, that type of stuff.
And you're upgrading her to what?
We would be like an office manager, because we've given her responsibilities when it comes to purchase orders. We've increased several things that she does.
Okay.
And she's already performing it now, and she's doing well.
Okay. What is her salary?
Right now, she's making $21.19 a year, $21.19 an hour. It would change her to $26.82. Rodney, can you help me with the annual?
Currently, that's $44,000 a year. That would take her to 55, a little bit more than 55,000 a year with this one.
How does that compare to other county employees that could be considered in that same category?
It's a very good question. Each department is viewed a little bit differently with that pay plan based on the job duties that that particular job description provides for. So we have an administrative assistant in our office, and I believe she makes 48 to about 50. There are other offices that have those executive positions or administrative positions. They're making somewhere upwards about 65. So it could fluctuate there. So in that big jump, I do want to explain going from grade 5 to grade 8 with our promotion in there is a 5% increase per grade that you increase. So it's based on that, which would have technically got her to about $24 an hour. But because it's grade 8, I have to put her into a step. So it did increase that sum because there was no pay grade that fit that rate of pay. So she went into step 1 at that $26.82 an hour.
That was after taking her revised job description, running it through HR to see where it came out at, and then working with Livonia as to where that fell on the financial side. So we first made sure that her job description.
Has this been run through HR
It has.
in the mayor's office?
No.
Sir?
No, sir.
You just, so
Aren't
close,
you,
so close to budget, it's kind of,
Mayor, aren't you in charge of what goes on over there in that building?
Yes, sir.
And this hasn't been discussed with you?
Nope.
Something wrong with that picture.
I am supposed to bring stuff to the Ag Committee to get approval on, and then if it gets approved, I'm supposed to discuss it with the mayor to make sure that he is in agreement with it.
I would think, Gail, that you and Zindel, at any time that y'all had something of this magnitude, this is not just a little pay grade increase, this is a substantial increase in the salary. And I think that, you know, certainly the mayor should be involved in this, in my opinion. I may be the only one in this room feels that way. And if I am, that's okay. A lot of times I do things that nobody else wants to do. But that's just my opinion, Mr. Chairman, so it's up to committee, whatever y'all want to do.
I would like to say anything. Ms. Gale, this person's probably more than deserving to be moved up, but the proper time to do it would be, as you don't already have the means to pay it, would be to bring it at budget time, because we're gonna have to fund it year in and year out when we do this. So this probably would be the proper time to do it, would be at budget time, because we kinda have a rule that states we don't give raises through the middle of the year. And this isn't exactly a raise, but once we grant it, it's there, we're responsible for it. So
Right, I
do you
understand
think we
that.
could maybe put it off till then and work with it through the budget process?
And that was the point of bringing it to you, to get the direction from the committee.
Yeah, I mean, that would probably be the appropriate means to do it, I think. Don't you, Larry?
Well, you know, it is hard, and I understand Gail's position when you got somebody that's doing more than what they've been used to doing, and you want to compensate them. And we're all in the ballgame to get our people as much money as we can. At the same time, the point that you bring up is the same thing I dealt with the department about 2 weeks ago, that, you know, felt like their people were doing more and wanted to do more, wanted to give them more, and that's great, but when you do that and nobody else gets it, then that causes trouble. And LeBron, you probably could help me on this one if you would not, and say, when some eat bologna of each steak, it gets us in trouble sometimes. So, so we try to limit that as much as possible, although you all know we did that for the Sheriff's Department, and you're gonna have it probably coming for you about WEMA dispatchers, because they're sitting across one another here at the next budget meeting. So we try to avoid this at all costs. And me and Gail didn't get together, so I couldn't lie and say we did. But you know, we'll definitely can get together and work on this and bring you something back. Again, I understand what you're saying. Hey, you know, if we wait till June to do it, that'd be great. So I can do
Well,
whatever.
if we were moving an employee and it was already in the budget, that position funded at that, it would be a little different situation. But when we're just moving an employee up and there's no money there for the additional compensation, we're gonna have to put that into the budget and be responsible for it from now on going forward. So to me, it just looks like a budget issue. Now, that being said, y'all do need to get together and make sure that you're in agreement with asking for that at budget time. I mean, that's the real process.
But we'll get together and work on it.
Well,
This is a reoccurring expense.
Sir?
This will be a reoccurring expense.
Problem is, Gail, please don't, I'm sure the person's very deserving, but if we keep doing this all across the county, we're blowing our budget. I mean, we build a budget and then we go to amending it on payroll. And if we do it in this department, why shouldn't we do it in this department? But they're asking for 3 people instead of 1, and so on and so forth. It's just a snowball. And at the end of the day, taxpayers have to pay the bills.
well, and there was no intention to sidestep anything.
No, I understand.
Okay,
Yeah,
so,
But the-
I've been told that I'm supposed to bring things to you, and if your guidance is to wait until budget, that's fine. That's not a problem.
I'm not saying the lady's not worthy of this at all.
Oh, I
don't know.
didn't take it that way.
Yeah, okay, I just want you to know.
No, I
So-
wanted you to understand, I wasn't trying to sidestep anything. I was trying to get guidance from the committee and then move forward from there.
Mail report,
Make a motion to approve the report.
Second.
all in favor?
I do have a question though on one thing she brought up about the event strategy for the anniversary. How much you talking about spending out of your marketing?
I haven't been in the office the past couple days because I've been in the middle of moving, so I haven't got to check those numbers. But when you're talking about looking at a keynote speaker, the question that came up was, when you're booking a keynote speaker, usually you get to tell them what your budget is, and then if they accept that, then you're on the hook for that. And I was trying to make sure that we were solid. If we said X, I was gonna be able to pay X out of my budget, just in case, this is a backup. And so it would be somewhere between 15 and or 20,000 is what I would guess. But the money that we would make back on the event would put that back. But it's the timing. So you've gotta make a commitment before you know that. But I was trying to make it build a concept that would actually generate more money than we normally had ever made in any event. And get advertising for us throughout the regions. But I don't want to take it to the different counties if we're not willing to make that commitment.
What is your advertising budget, Gail?
That's about 120,000 a year. And I believe that there is at least 22,000 right now, just for the remainder of this budget. With no real significant expenses coming up. But the committee has to be in agreement to do that. And that was why I wanted to have a subcommittee to be able to provide some insight.
You had naming rights that you wanted, was that for me to discuss, or was that?
I never put that on the agenda, so I don't know what that's from.
I did.
That was-
We brought it up last time and it wasn't on the agenda before we talked to it. It's gotta be on the agenda.
You're right.
So let me talk to you about the naming rights if I can. Naming rights for the expo, when we first started, I don't know if you remember this or not, we put it out for an RFP and we didn't get anybody, no bites. We put it out a second time, no bites. Finally, the third time we got Kubota, and we thought we were gonna get Kubota to kind of help and jump in there, and they decided to turf the fields at Friendship, and so they jumped out. And the conversation kind of went back and forth in Charity, Larry probably remember this, that, you know, Farm Bureau, not the insurance company, but the Board of Agriculture kind of talked to us. If you remember, this was in May of 2020. And so we came back, and I think when Gail brings you her report and we've had this conversation, you know, our goal has always been, after Charity left and Gail came in, was to, we did a first 3-year study, and then I did a second 3-year study not too long ago, and then we were trying to keep up with it year to year. So when we did that, we just said, okay, we need goals and objectives, because we were on a contract, you remember, Mr. John Gentry said, hey, I don't think we ought to give incentive contracts out. So we come back and just gave a flat fee for that person working, I'm giving you more than you want, I know that. But at the end of the day, we said, let's see if we could make, Zendo, you keep up with the expenses, And then Ms. Gail, if you could make what we think is gonna even that expenses, that way at least we break even on the overhead. Because we felt like at that time, if we could do that, that's our goal, we won't always do it, but if we could do that, then the naming rights, whatever we got was more than what we were getting, because at the time, we were trying to say, if we could get any profit at all off our overhead, and then we got the naming rights coming in, and then we got a $100,000 contribution from Lebanon for 20 years, then we got the ticket surcharge. And the ticket surcharge, it can't go against the building, but it's the only reason the ticket surcharge exists, because back in the day, we were trying to get something like that, Dear Keith was, to pay for that, and the state said, hey, you can't take that money and put it towards that building, but you can put it towards a maintenance fee with your ag center. So we did it, so we still let the expo kind of claim credit for the ticket surcharge. And then the increase in the hotel motel tax, and then since that time, you know, we got 3 on the docket or 4 on the docket right now, but we've added 3 or 4 since the expo come into. So that hotel motel tax is increasing that, and the sales tax. So we say, if we could break even, that's a good thing. So the naming rights just became thinking, whatever we can get. We worked out a deal with them, as I said, in May of 2020, because we didn't know, nobody knew what was going to happen, but for $45,000 a year. And then in that contract, which we all looked at, or at least I looked at, Mike looked at, I don't know if Larry looked at it or not, and Charity, and with that, it had a contract, the piece in there that said, for 5 years, you're going to give us $45,000. And we were hoping they'd give us another 5 years, but we didn't know if they would or not. So we did that with an extra escalator clause in there, so it would go up a little bit, but not enough really, to really offset anything, but I have those numbers. So the clause though was an automatic renewal if they wanted to. Really didn't give us an option. Now, with that being said, if this committee tonight says, hey look, we want to get out of the Farm Bureau business, we can send them a letter and in 6 months it's all gone. So if you want to do that, we can do that anytime you want to do it. But, so when I talked to Mike and Aaron, I said, hey, I talked to Gail and Zendel, both of them think, you know, gosh, number one, with the rental costs gone up and the free days we give them, we're not making a whole lot of money. And I do have the amount of money we have made with them, and we have made a substantial amount of money that we, you know, even if you rented it out, I think I still made $220,000 or so on over that 5-year period of time. It may be more than that, but it's somewhere in that nature. So I said, Mike, I called Brian Wright in and I said, hey, can we have a conversation about this? And he said, well, you know, I gave you an email for the renewal on time. And he said, so I have said that. I said, well, you know, we see some expenses. We know we're doing a lot more in advertising. You see how much we were spending, that she just told you we were spending on advertising. And this thing has become a hit, you know, so you're getting your bang for your buck. He said, I'll be glad to talk to you, you know, as we end towards the end of this next 5 years. But he said, I like what we got, and I want to keep that like at it. And so Mike and Aaron both said, hey, you're kind of where you're at. And so, you know, now we feel like Farm Bureau's a good partner. They're no competition with nobody around here. They have a good name. The Voice of Agriculture, they kind of fit, you know. Now, and I think we also talked to Gail about maybe making sure they had used more days than what they were supposed to use, because maybe they had did that once or twice. But I think at the end of the time of the 5 years, it was always maybe a day over if you added them all up total. So anyway, that's kind of where we are. I mean, it's $45,000, and it goes up this year. $45,900 for the first year, $46,818 the second year, $47,754 the third year, $48,710 the fourth year, and $49,683 the fifth year. So not a lot of extra money, $13,000 I think total at the end of the day, but it's that many $1,000s that we wasn't getting anyway. So we saw it as a plus then. Probably, you know, Gail and them think that we could probably get a whole lot more. I have no clue if we could or not, but probably maybe we could. But we'll definitely put it back out to bid or whatever, or renegotiate or whatever you guys want to do. But at the time it was, can we get any money at all and help us offset some of our costs? And that's how we got into the game.
Do we know what other places are getting for their naming rights?
Yeah, you've looked at some places, and I mean, I think Gail was thinking $100,000 for a year is what she was thinking.
When we were up at Montgomery County, I think it was Montgomery County, The new arena, I talked to their leadership and asked them, they could not disclose the amount of what they got. So we did kind of an apples to apples comparison as to what they had, what we had, sort of thing. We could not command what they commanded, but we scaled it back, just trying to be conservative in the numbers. And it was 100,000, easy. And so my concern that I've expressed more than once is the number of days that they get free, because just a perfect example is Ag Industry Day started out to be 1 day. It's now 2. And then their farmers, young farmers, started out to be just the main exhibit hall. And it was 2 days. And then it turned into 3, and then it turned into 4 in the whole building. And because of the way the contract is written, it's not specific enough to say anything above and beyond this you owe extra money for. And so I don't have a leg to stand on to say that basically they get to do what they want to do. So that's been my concern, which I've shared with them.
I'll go back and I'll counter that piece there. The first year, they have 6.5 days allotted, and they have the days they've got allotted, and they don't have any more. And if they use more than that, you're daggum right, we can charge them. They shouldn't get any more. We shouldn't book them anymore. So they have 2.5 days for the TFVF, 1 Ag Industry Partner Day, 1 Farm Bureau Day for women, and 2 for young farmers. That's 6.5 days. So they used that first year. They used 3 days, which was, again, when you take off that particular amount of money that we would have gotten from them, you still made $40,825 profit on the first year. The next year they had 6.5 days, but they actually used 7 days that year, which is a half a day over. You still, even if you would have rented that out, you still got $18,000 profit, which is not great. But the next year they had a 6.5, and they used 9 days total, 2.5 over. So that was $15,750 profit. The 4th day they went back to half a day over on 6.5, and that's $18,000 profit. And the last year they used 7. But when you look at the total number of days, since they didn't use as many that first year, total number, then you end up with a half a day over total for the 5-year period. But I had that conversation with Brian and told him, and he said he was moving some things to Spring Hill, or where's he moving it to, Gail? Somewhere.
It's down like by Columbia somewhere.
Yeah. So with that particular piece, he said, we're moving 2 events down there, so they shouldn't be going over anymore, and we shouldn't let them go over anymore. I mean, if they try to book more than what they're supposed to, send them to me.
Well, but there's nothing in the contract that says that. That's why that was my point.
Yeah.
Well, my biggest thing, if we're only getting, that's such a low amount, I'd rather it say Wilson County Expo Center or Lebanon, Wilson County, if Lebanon wants to pitch in more and keep our name up front, because it doesn't seem like it's that much beneficial without getting our name in there.
Well, if you look at it marketing wise, that $120-some thousand marketing budget, their name is on everything. And I actually asked them if we could partner to put the expo as part of the advertising on the weather or the, what do they call that? The weather pod thing that, you know, they go, oh, this camera? And they said no. And now they have it. So,
I don't know.
but the expo is not getting marketing.
That's just me. I just feel like for the amount of money, I'd rather have our name on it. And but that's something we can discuss later, but at least we got more information on it.
And I think it's easy to look back today and say, man, let's do that. And it's easy for me to say, hey, see you, Brian, you know, we can make more money now. But at the time when nobody would.
I'm not criticizing this last 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, moving forward, I think we need to really look at.
Well, I think you can. I mean, like I said, if you want to send them a letter, you can kick them out in 6 months and rebid it if you want to take that opportunity. Farm Bureau feels like they're a large part of the Ag Center. I know they're a large part of the, or try to be a large part of the fair and all of that, but we'll do whatever you guys want to do. But
That's
just
fine.
understand
That's
how
my
we
thought.
got to where we were, is all I'm saying.
All right, back up to Gail's report. Anybody else got anything? I need a motion to.
We got a motion and second, we just need to-
Well, what about Lucas, wasn't he on the agenda?
Yeah, I'm not done. We'll have two more names.
I'm last.
Helen?
Okay, fair will be August the 13th through the 22nd. We've got horse shows the first and second weekends, August the 1st and August the 8th. Of course, we take entries August 1st, 8th, 9th, 11th, and 12th. We will have 1 week before the horse show this year, after the fair, to turn the grounds over, which will be a great thing. We won't next year. The theme this year is going to be Voices and Volunteers, celebrating 250 years of America. Our agriculture commodity this year is going to be Year of Forestry. I've got to say, Tennessee Department of Forestry has, they have been working since September planning, and we've got 9 educational areas that they will be at. We'll have a lumberjack show. We're going to be having a collegiate forestry competition that is already being planned for that, and be adding more ag education in the Ag Venture Barn this year. Improvements planned for this year, the Wi-Fi should be all done before the fair. The Connected Communities Facilities, thank y'all very much for approving that, so we can get the first aid and the restroom done before the fair this year. Traffic flow was much better in 2025 this year. Thank y'all, William, for making sure it should be even better in 2026 since the parking is all being done. Those improvements continue. Adding more land to make future improvements, that's going to be huge, y'all, what that is being done, that we're supposed to close on here in February. We're going to be building some portable ticket booths, more exhibits for competitions, making some improvements to entrances, and we're going to also be looking to purchase some people haulers for transporting people to the ticket booths this year, because we have stretched this parking all the way back and we got to do something. The trolleys are not working really good because of them bogging down the people, them turning it around and everything. That has been a problem. That's all I've got about the fair. Fiddler's Grove, the annual meeting for that will be Thursday, February the 12th. It's a potluck dinner in the Veterans Building, so anybody, we'd love to have everybody at that if you can. The opening day for Fiddler's Grove will be April the 7th, if they can get the speakers to confirm. That will be in the Veterans Building at 10 a.m. We'd love to have everybody at that. Of course, Rhonda and Jennifer are already booking tours for school groups and other events. The Woodcarvers Workshop will be March the 12th through the 20th, and they've got a meeting with the Department of Forestry next week, February the 2nd, to evaluate the trees in Fiddler's Grove. So things are moving ahead, and it's going to be a great year. Thank you.
What kind of numbers did you have off the trolley, off the Skyride?
Oh, do you know what? I can't give you that. I'd have to look back in our book to let you know. It started out slow, Larry, on the first, when we took out that fence there, that helped that. Moving the ticket booth out, doing those portable ticket booths, that should help that because we won't have to put in that portable fencing like we've had to do out there at the Green Gate. So we hope that will help get people to that end over there. But I can give you that. I'll look that up.
Just curious.
To you.
Motion approved.
Second.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Lucas?
Okay, some quick highlights really quickly. We're sitting at about 1,700 4-H members for the county, which is really good. COVID, we kind of really went down. We had some issues getting back in some of the schools, but we've shot back up. And that's, kind of at the middle of the year, so we still have all the camps to go through in the summertime. I really think that we'll be sitting over 2,000 4-H members for Wilson County by the end of June. We had a national winning 4-H parliamentary procedure team that won the national contest in Denver, Colorado a few weeks ago, which was, from what I can tell, the first time that's ever happened from Wilson County. Some really good debaters and speakers that came out of Wilson County. The 4-H agents have done a great job. Our horse hippology team's going to state. They're going to UT in a couple of weeks to compete. We've started some old school competitions back. We're doing meets judging. We haven't done that in a while. So if you know somebody 4th grade and up that wants to learn how to judge meat, livestock, that kind of goes with it, we'd love to have them. We graduated about 40 in master beef in the fall time. Jesse is starting back with a women in ag event. We've done that off and on for the last 4 or 5 years, and we normally have over 100 come to those events, and we have them come from 20 or 30 counties. But those women in ag event will be sometime in April at the Ag Center. Jesse's had a couple of meetings on farmland legacies, looking at transitioning a farm back from someone, an older generation, to children, and what goes into that. She's had some really good discussion with local lawyers and things like that. And the last thing, we're helping out with the judging school for fairs on February the 27th. So we help train agents and volunteers on judging stuff at the fair. We play a big role in the fair with all of the competitions, FCS related, fruit and vegetable, flour. We do a lot of that stuff. But that's some highlights from the past few months from us. Y'all have any questions?
How's your addition going?
The debate team, were they made up of one school or?
No, it was Wilson County collectively, so
Okay.
they're for high school kids. Sarah Powell from Watertown High School, Elijah and John Hancock from Lebanon High School, Samuel Cordray was a homeschool. I think that was the 4. I'm sure I'm forgetting one right offhand, but
Do we have time to recognize them this month, or would it be better for
if we
March?
could, I think it was awesome if we could recognize them one month at County Commission. We would love to have that happen. Yeah,
You'll call Sarah and
we
tell
can
her.
do that.
We'll figure out when we get it in.
And you'd mentioned our building addition. We're kind of we're waiting on the certificate of occupancy from the county. So everything's done. UT bought all the tables and chairs, and are sitting there in boxes, and we're waiting to unbox them until we get a certificate of occupancy. So maybe we can get the city to go a little faster.
And that farmland legacy deal, I mean, that was a really big deal. I mean, I think there was 100 people at the first one, and that was, a lot of elderly people,
Yeah.
Trying to figure out, as far as passing their farm and, that kind of thing. But it was a very well attended and I think very informational for a whole lot of local folks
Yep.
there.
If you let them know, and our whole
We'll let
committee
Sarah know.
can, whole committee can sit there and sponsor, do the resolution.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. That's all I got.
Motion to accept.
Second. Motion, second.
That was me.
I knew I heard somebody. Need one more motion.
Motion adjourned.
So moved.